To the United Kingdom now, and the country is block booking thousands of hotel rooms for 10 days of enforced quarantine for those arriving in the UK from COVID-19 hotspots. That kicks in from the 15th of February. And to tell us more, I'm joined by our London correspondent, Ollie Barrett. Good evening, Ollie. So before you could quarantine at home, but now you have to book into a hotel and you have to pay for it. Tell us about these rules.
That's right. So what the UK is saying is that from February the 15th, UK residents returning to England from red-listed countries which Britain believes are so-called coronavirus hotspots, those people will face mandatory hotel quarantine close to the airport to which they arrive, and as you say, they will have to pay for it themselves. Now, you may say, what about people who aren't UK residents returning to the UK from those countries? Well, those people will be banned. So some people will be able to fly from South Africa, perhaps having to divert via another city or an airport connection to the UK, but those people are only UK residents. Otherwise, travel between the UK and South Africa is effectively banned by Britain, and that's because what the government is trying to do, it says, is keep on top of variants which are spreading around the world, which it believes might be more transmissible or potentially more dangerous. And of course there is the South Africa discovered variant, which is one of those that it is concerned about. So South Africa is on that so-called red list of countries that are really restricted in terms of international travel, and anyone coming in this direction from those countries, including South Africa, as you say, will need to be quarantined in a hotel for 10 days now.
Yeah, right. So it's only UK residents who are allowed to quarantine and pay. South Africans wanting to come over to the UK simply not allowed at all. I'm wondering if we've seen these rushes back to the United Kingdom before these new rules come into play. I remember there was one from France a few months ago. I think your wife was caught up in that. Are we seeing similar floods of people rushing back to the UK?
I think that's one of the reasons that the UK has given people a little bit of time this time around. February the 15th, all of this kicks in, so there is time for people to make arrangements if they do need to get back. The UK government certainly wanted to avoid having to lay on repatriation flights all over the world like it did during the first wave of the coronavirus crisis, and it also felt that if it put too blanket a border ban, going even further than this hotel quarantine program, that it really could cause chaos around the world in terms of people being stuck apart from their families and having to organise all sorts of very complicated repatriations. Now, critics of the government will say that actually the reason February the 15th is the date is not to do with any of that. It's because the government has been slow and hasn't got itself organised quickly enough. And indeed, the opposition Labour Party is saying that this is the kind of policy that should have been in place many months ago. They've gone as far as saying that the government is putting lives in danger by moving slowly on this one.
So about 10 million people, I think, have now been vaccinated in the United Kingdom. When is it going to have an impact on hospital admissions, infections, and, of course, crucially, the death rate from COVID-19?
It looks like we are starting to see the signs of that. We have seen in recent days pretty rapid falls starting to emerge in hospitalisations, in deaths, and also in cases. But of course the scientists have been saying you need to be cautious at this point about ascribing that to the vaccines quite yet, because anyone who gets vaccinated will take around 3 weeks to see some kind of protection immunity develop. But we should be starting to see that develop now in many hundreds of thousands of people, and that's why, all being well, if this goes the way that scientists hope it will go in this country, we should now start to see a really rapid fall off in those deaths numbers, hospitalisations as well. 6,893 deaths recorded in the last 7 days, according to the latest data we've just received. That is a huge number, but it is down 17.8% on the previous week. 1,014 new deaths recorded in the last 24 hours, compared with 1,245 a week ago. 19,114 new positive tests in the UK in the last 24-hour period. That is down from 29,079 a week ago. So you can see the numbers are moving in the right direction, and if the vaccinations now start to kick in as well, that should compound that effect. Oh, let's hope it stays in that downward direction. Thank you so much for that update. That's our correspondent in London, Ollie Barrett.